Hey, welcome to VW Family Farm. I'm Ben, and we are fixing to make some of the best, most tender pulled pork you've ever sunk your mouth into. We're going to be smoking a picnic roast. This is a roast that we grew here on the farm. I have used a lot of shoulder roast. This is actually out of the front shoulder, also on the lower part of the front shoulder. Still makes a good pulled pork meat. This is what we've got, so this is what we're going to use today. So let's say you're going to be cooking for a birthday party, a family reunion, some kind of big event, and you're trying to estimate on how many people one roast will feed. You can actually go, what I go off of is about a 10-pound roast will feed an estimate of 15 people. That's how I do it, and that's a 10-pound uncooked roast. Of course, it's going to cook down. So we go 10 pounds, 15 people, and that's how we measure. Of course, I always want leftovers. You never want anybody to run out. So when I cook for big events, I've smoked 6 of these at a time before. That's how I figure, and I know I'll have the right amount of meat and some extra. Let's get started. Alright, this is nowhere near the same size as you would get at the store. I know that, but this isn't even a shoulder roast per se. But anyway, any of them that you get, the way I do it is I'll take my knife and I'll cut every which way. Alright, once you get all the slices in it, I'll take some mustard and rub that in there real good. Help the breakdown process begin. And after you get your mustard on there, you want to put your favorite dry rub barbecue seasoning on. Once I get it pretty well coated, I'll put it on a piece of aluminum foil, or in this instance I'm putting it on some Stretch Tight. This way we're going to lock in all those wonderful flavors. Alright, you're going to take this and go put it in the refrigerator and let it set from anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. The longer you let it set, the more it's going to soak up all those flavors. While that's marinating, we're going to make what Emily always called Daddy's famous barbecue. You can call it VW Family Farm Barbecue, and it is amazing. So let's get started. What you're going to need is, we've already got the 2 cups of ketchup and a half a cup of mustard mixed together. From there, we've already got our organic chili powder, our salt and our pepper in here, and that would be 2 tablespoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of pepper. Next is the apple cider vinegar. You've got a half a cup of apple cider vinegar. Next comes 1/3 cup of Worcestershire sauce. Next is 1/4 cup of lemon juice. Next, we've got a big heaping cup of brown sugar. We're going to go ahead and turn this on like a medium-low heat. In here I've got our garlic and onion. Andrea gets a lot of our bulk supplies through Azure Standard. If you hadn't checked them out, there's going to be a link in the description below for Azure. They're a great company to get your bulk food supplies from. That right there was just supposed to be a dash. Next comes 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Alright, most important in this recipe, which it's going to be hard for any of y'all to duplicate it just because it's made with our own VW Family Farm raw honey. So you're going to take, it calls for 1/4 cup of honey and 1/4 cup of molasses. I actually go off a little more and put 1/4 cup of molasses and about 1/2 cup of honey. Get it all mixed together nice. You're going to have you some amazing barbecue sauce. Alright, what I use to smoke these Boston butts, where it makes it perfect every time, I use a electric Masterbuilt smoker. I'll normally, depending on how many butts I'm doing at the time, I'll usually run my temperature at either 190 or 200 degrees. And depending on how big of a pork shoulder that I'm smoking, it'll normally determine. A lot of the times I'll smoke the 10 to 12 pound pork shoulders. In doing that, I usually smoke them for 24 hours. I'll smoke them roughly around 20 hours, either in foil or something like that, and then I'll open them up where they're just smoked without anything wrapped around them. That way they get a little bit crisper on the outside. I have done them the full 24 hours, just unwrapped, straight smoke all the time. Depending on how many wood chips you put in this electric smoker, how smoky you want it, and then also doing it like that outside the full gets more burnt ends on the sides. Some people like that, some people don't. So depending on what I'm doing the smoking for is how I will prepare it like that. But this one, we're going to prepare this one without any foil wrapped around it or anything. We're going to take it out of this wrap. Now this is a small one, like I said earlier. This is a smaller pork shoulder that we raised here. Just take it out, lay it on the rack. Now I know you ain't gonna be able to see inside there because it's dark out here. Lay it on the rack with the fatty side on the top. That way all of those juices will drizzle down throughout those cuts that we made on it. And we'll check on this thing again in the morning. All right, we're back. This thing has been cooking for right at 16 hours. With the size of it, I don't need to cook it for 24 hours. We're fixing to pull this thing out, shred it up, and have some lunch. All right, y'all seen how big it was, and that's what it shrunk down to. That right there is just gonna be a meal for us. All right, once you come in, get you 2 forks. Try to get down there and get that bone out of it. So we're gonna take a little bit of this. I'm gonna put it on a fresh piece of sourdough. Andrea makes sourdough bread. If you're new to our channel, we'll link above how she starts a sourdough starter, also how she makes sourdough bread. This is the sourdough bread. All right, we've got that on there. We're going to take a little bit of our barbecue sauce we just made. All right, that's just a quick tutorial on how we do our smoked pork shoulders. Like I said, normally on a 10 to 12 pound pork shoulder, I'll cook them at about 190, 200 degrees for 24 hours. Also, sometimes we'll wrap them in full, depending on what we're doing the barbecue for and how people want it. Remember, a lot of our staples and spices and stuff like that, we get it in bulk from Azure Standard. The link's always down below in all of our videos. So if you're interested in bulk spices, bulk foods, stuff like that, or natural ingredients, you can always shop Azure Standard. Links down below. All right, thank y'all for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching. God bless. Hey, can you say that? Worcestershire? Worcestershire? Worcestershire. Correct. Let me do that again. You cannot go wrong with too much honey, I don't think. Or no, let me do that one more time. You cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong with adding. Quit laughing.
Take 6.
So I don't think you can go wrong with adding about another 1/4 of a cup of honey to it.